Do you wake up with aching legs, stiff knees, or swollen ankles even though you eat healthy and try to stay active? You are not alone, and it is not just age. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that more than 60% of seniors who experience morning leg pain are not suffering because of getting older. They are feeling the effects of something else, something hidden in their daily routine. And one of the biggest triggers starts at breakfast. Not from sugar, not from skipping exercise, but from pairing eggs with the wrong foods. Eggs are good for you. They are packed with protein, vitamins, and nutrients that help your muscles stay strong and your brain stay sharp. But after 60, when eggs are paired with certain foods, they can quietly spark inflammation. That inflammation builds up in your joints and legs. It leaves you feeling stiff, heavy, and sore before your day even begins. I see this all the time in my patients. People who are careful about what they eat. People who walk, take their vitamins, and drink plenty of water. People who truly believe they are doing everything right, yet still wake up feeling like their legs are fighting against them. Here is the truth. It is not simply age. It is not inevitable. What you are feeling is a sign that something in your routine is pushing your body into inflammation, and it often begins with the very first meal of the day. The good news is that this can change. Today, I will show you 6 common egg combinations that silently trigger joint stiffness and leg pain. I will also show you the simple swaps that calm inflammation and help your body feel better fast. I have seen seniors go from waking up stiff and limping to standing straighter, walking easier, and feeling steady again in as little as 7 days. You are not stuck. Your body is not broken. It is waiting for the right signals. And those signals can start tomorrow morning, right on your breakfast plate. I hear this almost every day from patients in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. They sit down across from me and say, "Doctor, I eat healthy. I stay active. I take my vitamins. I drink my water. So why do my legs still hurt every morning?" These are not people who ignore their health. They do the work. They cook their meals at home. They choose eggs over sugary cereal. They walk even when their knees ache. They are careful and deliberate about their habits. And yet, every morning it is the same routine. They wake up stiff. They swing their legs over the side of the bed and feel that tight pull behind their knees. They stand slowly because their ankles feel heavy and swollen. They take a few steps and notice their legs feel weighed down, like they are carrying sandbags. Does that sound familiar? Have you looked down at your legs and wondered why they feel weak, even though you are trying your best? If so, I want you to hear this clearly. This is not your fault, and it is not something you simply have to accept. Here is what most people do not realize. After 60, your body does not process food the way it used to. Your digestion slows. Your circulation is weaker. Your immune system becomes more sensitive. Foods that felt harmless when you were younger can now create more stress on your system. And when you combine those foods the wrong way, that stress turns into inflammation. And where does that inflammation settle first? In your legs, in your knees, in your ankles and feet, the very parts of your body that carry you through the day. Think of your body like a garden hose. When you were younger, the water pressure was strong. The flow was steady. Even if something thicker went through, it cleared easily. But now that hose has aged. The walls are stiffer. The pressure is weaker. Pour something heavy through it now, and it clogs. The pressure builds where the flow is slowest. That is exactly what happens inside your body. Inflammation builds where circulation is slowest. For seniors, that is in the lower legs and joints, and it starts quietly. One day, it is a little stiffness, then swelling around the ankles, then difficulty walking longer distances. The good news is that you can change it. Just like you can flush out a hose with clean water, you can clear that inflammation by eating the right foods in the right combinations. In just a moment, I am going to show you the first common breakfast pairing that silently fuels leg pain. It is one of the most familiar meals in America, something millions eat without realizing it is part of the problem. And I will share the story of a man named Henry who ate it every day until it nearly cost him his ability to walk comfortably. Henry is 72, a retired truck driver who spent decades on the road. Every morning for 40 years, he started his day the same way: 2 eggs and 2 strips of bacon. He said, "It's what I know. It's what I've always done." When Henry came into my office, he was leaning on a cane. His knees were swollen. His ankles were puffy. He told me, "Doc, I used to walk my dog every morning. Now I can barely make it to the mailbox." That simple plate of eggs and bacon that he trusted for decades was fueling his pain. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, and ham are packed with nitrates, preservatives, and saturated fat. When you are young, your body clears these chemicals quickly. But after 60, your liver and kidneys slow down. Those compounds stay longer in your system and build inflammation, especially in your joints. Then there is the combination effect. Eggs contain sulfur compounds. When you pair them with the nitrates in bacon or sausage, it increases uric acid in your bloodstream. High uric acid is a direct trigger for gout-like pain, swelling, and stiffness in the knees, ankles, and feet. This is why Henry's pain was worst mid-morning, a few hours after breakfast. It was not random. It was cause and effect. We made one change. Henry swapped his bacon for lean protein like grilled salmon or turkey slices. He kept his eggs, but added spinach cooked in olive oil. 2 weeks later, Henry walked into my office without his cane. He smiled and said, "Doc, I took my dog around the block this morning. No pain. I thought those days were gone." One small change in his breakfast lifted years of pain from his legs. And Henry is not alone. Now, let's talk about another common breakfast habit. It feels safe. It feels simple. But it is quietly spiking your blood sugar and triggering inflammation in your joints every single morning. Laura is 69, a retired school teacher with a gentle voice and steady habits. "I keep it simple," she told me. 2 eggs, a slice of toast, and a cup of coffee every morning, sometimes a muffin on Sundays. But her legs told a different story. Her knees were stiff before she even got out of bed. Her ankles swelled by lunchtime. Short walks around the block left her feeling like she had weights strapped to her legs. She couldn't figure it out. "I thought I was eating clean," she said. "No sugar cereals, no fast food, just eggs and toast." The problem was in the toast. White bread, bagels, muffins. These are all refined carbohydrates. They've been stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients, which means your body digests them very fast. That quick digestion causes a spike in blood sugar, followed by an insulin response, and ultimately inflammation. And when you pair refined carbs with eggs, the problem gets worse. Eggs are high in fat and protein, which slows digestion. So that sugar from the bread or muffin stays in your system even longer, fueling joint pain throughout the morning. In Laura's case, she was eating what millions of older adults eat, thinking it was a safe breakfast. But instead of fueling her, it was weighing her down. We made just 2 small changes. First, we swapped her white toast for 1 slice of sprouted grain bread or half a baked sweet potato. Second, instead of muffins, we added a small bowl of oatmeal with berries once or twice a week. 10 days later, she called me. "Doc," she said, "I stood up this morning and I didn't need to rub my knees. I didn't even realize how bad I felt until it got better." That is the power of changing what's on your plate. It doesn't take a drastic overhaul, just smart swaps done consistently. So far, you've heard Henry's story, you've heard Laura's, but I want to tell you about George next, because his transformation wasn't just about pain relief. It was about reclaiming the ability to move, to play with his grandchildren, to feel like himself again. And it all started with 3 simple breakfast changes. George was 68 when he came to see me, a retired firefighter, broad shoulders, a strong frame, but he moved slowly. He lowered himself into the chair and rubbed his knees as he spoke. "Doc," he said, "I don't feel like me anymore. I can't take my morning walks without stopping halfway. I can't get down on the floor to play with my grandkids. I feel old." George wasn't careless. He ate what he believed was healthy: scrambled eggs, turkey sausage, white toast. He walked every day, even when his legs hurt. He stayed active, but the pain and heaviness in his legs didn't go away. We reviewed his breakfast and made 3 small changes. First, we swapped his sausage for sautéed spinach and kale, cooked lightly in olive oil. Second, we replaced his white toast with half a baked sweet potato. Third, we added slices of avocado for healthy fats alongside his eggs. George looked skeptical. "Is that really enough to make a difference?" he asked. 3 weeks later, he came back smiling. No limp, no knee brace. "Doc," he said, "I carried my grandson to the park yesterday. No pain, no stopping to rest. I felt like myself again." That's what these changes are about. Not just reducing pain, but restoring freedom. The freedom to move without hesitation, to climb stairs without gripping the railing, to enjoy simple things like walking outside or getting down on the floor with your grandchildren without fear or discomfort. If George's story resonates with you, know this: you can get there too. It doesn't require drastic diets or pills. It starts with small adjustments to your breakfast, the first meal that sets the tone for your day. If his story gives you hope, type "yes" in the comments. Let me know you're ready to make these changes for yourself. Because next, we're going to tackle 2 more silent triggers, foods that feel comforting but can quietly fuel inflammation every single morning. 4. Cheese, the heavy comfort that weighs you down. There's something undeniably comforting about melted cheese on scrambled eggs. It tastes warm, familiar, satisfying. But after 60, that comfort often comes with a hidden cost. Most cheeses, especially the processed or pre-shredded kind, are high in saturated fat, sodium, and a milk protein called casein. When digestion slows with age, breaking down dairy becomes harder. The body sees these difficult-to-digest compounds as irritants, and that triggers inflammation. Many older adults don't realize this. They think adding a slice of cheese to their eggs is harmless. But in people over 60, that cheese can leave the joints feeling heavy, the ankles swollen, and the knees stiff, especially the morning after. Quick fix: skip the cheese. Instead, top your eggs with sliced avocado, which gives you healthy fats without triggering inflammation. Add herbs like parsley or dill for flavor without the joint pain. 3. Nightshades, the healthy vegetables that hurt your joints. Now, let's talk about tomatoes, bell peppers, potatoes, and eggplant. These vegetables belong to the nightshade family. And while they are rich in vitamins, they contain a chemical called solanine, a compound that can irritate nerves and inflame tissues in sensitive individuals. I had a patient named Walt. He was 67 and loved cooking. Every morning he diced tomatoes into his omelet. He also ate hash browns on the side, but he kept waking up with stiff knees and tingling in his feet. When we took out the nightshades and replaced them with zucchini, kale, and spinach, the change was almost immediate. He called me within a week. "Doc," he said, "I didn't realize food could do this. My knees haven't felt this free in months." Quick fix: if you eat tomatoes, peppers, or potatoes in the morning and notice leg pain or stiffness later, try cutting them out for 10 days. Replace them with leafy greens or steamed squash. Watch how your body responds. These 2 changes alone, removing cheese and avoiding nightshades, have helped hundreds of my patients regain morning mobility. But now, we need to talk about the 2 biggest offenders. One is sweet. The other pretends to be healthy. Both are silent triggers of leg pain, swelling, and long-term inflammation. Let's start with the sweet one, because it's probably on your plate right now, even in small amounts. 2. Sugar, jam, juice, the sweetness that stiffens your joints. A little jam on toast, a splash of ketchup on eggs, a small glass of orange juice. These things feel harmless, but for aging joints, even small amounts of added sugar can create real damage. Here's what happens. Sugar causes a rapid rise in blood glucose. Your body responds by releasing inflammatory chemicals to manage it. Over time, sugar binds to proteins in your cartilage through a process called glycation. This makes the cartilage stiff and brittle. That stiffness is what you feel every morning when you stand up and your knees resist bending. Nancy, 70 years old, had a teaspoon of jam on toast every morning and half a glass of juice. She thought it was nothing, but her ankles swelled every afternoon and her knees ached by evening. When we removed the jam and juice and replaced them with a few fresh blueberries and water, she called me a week later. "Doc," she said, "I didn't realize how bad it was until it stopped. My ankles look normal. My legs feel lighter." Quick fix: swap jam for fresh berries. Skip juice and drink water or herbal tea. Trade ketchup for mashed avocado or hummus. Each small cut in sugar means less stiffness, less swelling, and better circulation in your legs. 1. Margarine, the hidden culprit. Sitting in your fridge. For decades, margarine was sold as the heart-healthy alternative to butter. It spread easily. It fried well. Many of us used it for years without a second thought. But margarine is loaded with trans fats and hydrogenated oils, compounds so harmful they've been banned in many countries. These fats stiffen your blood vessels, block circulation, and inflame joints from the inside out. When you fry eggs in margarine or spread it on toast, you're feeding the very pain you want to avoid. Frank, 75, had used margarine daily for decades. His knees throbbed, his calves cramped, and he often felt tingling in his feet. We swapped his margarine for extra virgin olive oil and avocado spread. 3 weeks later, he walked in smiling. "Doc, my knees don't ache when I get out of bed anymore. I feel steady again." Quick fix. Toss the margarine. Cook eggs in olive oil. Spread avocado on whole grain toast. Healthy fats improve blood flow, calm inflammation, and help joints feel younger. These last two triggers, sugar and margarine, are often the final pieces of the puzzle. Remove them, and your body finally gets a chance to recover. And when that happens, mornings begin to feel completely different. Now let's talk about what those mornings look like when your breakfast is working for you, not against you. Imagine this. It's morning. The light is coming through the window. You open your eyes, stretch, and sit up slowly. But something feels different. Your knees don't ache. Your ankles aren't swollen. Your legs don't feel like they're carrying bricks. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed and stand up, without bracing yourself on the dresser. You walk to the kitchen, not because you have to, but because you can. And when you sit down to eat, your breakfast is simple but smart. 2 soft-boiled eggs, a handful of spinach lightly sautéed in olive oil, a few slices of avocado, a small side of sweet potato, and a glass of water. There's no bacon, no margarine, no toast loaded with jam, no hidden sugar, no swelling creeping in by mid-morning. Just clean energy, real nourishment, and the feeling that your body is working with you, not against you. After breakfast, you step outside. You walk the driveway, maybe water the garden, maybe play with your grandkids on the floor, and you do it without thinking about your legs. That is what happens when inflammation begins to leave your body. That is what happens when breakfast stops triggering pain and starts building strength. Because the truth is, your body isn't broken. It's waiting for the right instructions. And the first instruction of the day is always your first meal. Each bite can either calm inflammation or feed it. Each combination can either help you move easier or make walking harder. And once you understand which foods help and which ones hurt, you take back control. You don't have to stop eating eggs. You just have to stop pairing them with the foods that weigh you down. Swap bacon for salmon or turkey. Trade white toast for sweet potatoes or sprouted grains. Use olive oil instead of margarine. Add spinach, avocado, or kale. These are not sacrifices. They are upgrades. Gentle ones your body will thank you for. I've seen it in Henry, in Laura, in George, Nancy, and Frank. And now, I want to see it in you. So, here's my challenge. Tomorrow morning, make just one change. Skip the processed meat. Ditch the jam. Use real olive oil. Notice how you feel by the end of the week. Notice your knees. Notice your ankles. Notice your steps. Your legs carry you through life. They deserve better fuel. And you deserve mornings that feel light, steady, and free. If you're ready to feel that again, subscribe to this channel. Because next week, I'm sharing the full anti-inflammatory breakfast blueprint designed for seniors. to protect your joints and help you stay mobile and strong through your 60s, 70s, and beyond. You're not stuck. You're not too old. And you are never too late to change the way your body feels. It starts now. It starts tomorrow morning. And it starts with your breakfast.